are in a part 4 video. Before going to start today's session, I would like to recall what we learned in a part 3 video. We learned in a part 3 about the breathing mechanism and also what do we breathe out by conducting some of the activities. Yes, my dear children, let me start today's session by considering some of the points. Those are breathing in other animals, example cockroach and the earthworm, and breathing underwater. Do plants also respire? Okay, so these are the points we are going to be discussed in this session. Now, let me consider the first point, breathing in other animals. Yes, my dear children, the animals such as elephants, goats, lizards, birds, frogs, all these animals, they have a pair of lungs in the chest cavity as like in the human beings. But some of the other organisms or some of other animals, they also have a pair of lungs as like the human beings. How do they breathe? Okay, so these are the questions arise in your mind. Yes, let us see which are the animals. They don't have a lungs as like in the human beings. How do they breathe? Okay, means let us find out by considering the example cockroach. Okay, so my dear children, you have seen a cockroach several times. Now I would like to say the tracheal system of the cockroach. Okay, the very first point is in this cockroach or in the insects, a small openings present on the sides of the body. So in almost all the insects, we are going to be identified such type of openings in the insects. Okay, the third point, these small openings we are going to be called that as spiracles. Okay, a small opening is called spiracles. So in the insects, a network of air tubes. Okay, a network of air tubes called tracheae. Which is present in the insects. For what purpose? For exchange the gases. Okay, so these are the two important parts we are going to be identified in the tracheal system of the cockroach. So my dear children, okay, you have to observe the picture. Yes, let me start. How do they breathe? By using these two parts. Yes, let me say. So in the insects, they are going to be taken in air, means that air rich in oxygen. Okay, the air rich in oxygen rushes through spiracles and finally it moves to the tracheae or tracheal tube and diffuse into the body tissue and reach for every cell of the body. So my dear children, I have used one word here, diffuse. Diffuse nothing but, okay, diffuse means spread out. Okay, this is the one way. Next, what is the other way? Similarly, the carbon dioxide from the cells. Okay, the carbon dioxide from the cells, it moves to the tracheae or tracheal tube. And finally it moves out through the spiracles. Okay, so this type of a mechanism happened in the cockroach while breathing. So my dear children, I told you a small network of air tubes present in the insects, those are called as a tracheae. So we are going to be identified these tracheae only in the insects, not in any other group of the animals. This is a very, very important point, my dear children. Okay, so my dear children, I hope you understood the mechanism of breathing in a cockroach. Okay, so let me continue. The second example, earthworm. Yes, my dear children, please you look at the picture, the earthworm. You have seen, right? Okay, so about this earthworm you have learned in a standard 6th. In the lesson, 9th lesson, the living organisms characteristics and the habitat. So, you have studied there about the earthworm, how do they breathe? Means, what I am going to say, the earthworm breathes through their skin. Then, what's the nature of this skin? Yes, the earthworm skin is, okay, moist and slimy to touch. Okay, the earthworm's skin is moist and slimy to touch. This is the nature of the skin. So, for this reason only, the gases pass through them very easily. Okay, yes. My dear children, just we have to consider another one example, frogs. Okay. Though frogs, they have a pair of lungs as like in the human beings, but they are going to be breathed through the skin. Then what's the nature of the skin of the frog? Yes, the skins of the frog is also a moist and slippery. Okay, moist and slippery. So, these are the points I would like to say about the earthworm. Got it? Now, let me continue the third point, breathing underwater. Yes, my dear children, can you see, are you breathing in the water or you survive in the water for a long time? Sorry, it not be happen. So, but some of the organisms, they are going to be breathed and they are going to be survive their life in the water. Okay, the best example is fishes. Okay, in those fishes we are going to be identified the gills. Okay, in the fishes the gills use the oxygen which is dissolved in the water for the breathing purpose. So, from this point, what I am going to say, gills are the respiratory organs in the fishes. Okay, so let me say about gills, some points. What are those? Yes, the first point is gills are projections of the skin. Okay, gills are projections of the skin. What would be the second point? These gills, they are well supplied with the blood vessels for exchange of gases. Okay? Yes. My dear children, you understood that. How do these gills, they are going to be respired in the water. Okay? So for that purpose, my dear children, I am going to requesting you all, please you watch this video.
Good job, Tofu. Now let's put it back in water. Let's not kill it, as it won't be able to breathe outside water. Why, Tia? If we can breathe outside water, then why can't fish do that too? That's because we have lungs to breathe. What we breathe is oxygen, and when it enters the windpipe, it goes straight to the lungs. The lungs help us to breathe in air. Fish don't have lungs? No, Tofu. Fish don't have lungs. They have gills. What are gills? They are similar to our lungs. Behind its mouth, they have holes just like our nose. Fish breathe by taking in oxygen from the water it drinks. The gills separate the oxygen present in the water and throw out the water and the carbon dioxide. So are you trying to say that we have lungs and they have gills to breathe? Yes. Then I can breathe underwater too. No, Tofu, you can't. You need a snorkeling pipe to make you breathe underwater. Oh, let's do it, Tia. Bow, bow, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on
Okay, I hope you watched the video and you understood the mechanism of breathing in the fishes through the gills. Okay, yes, my dear children, the last point, that is, do plants also respire? Yes, this is a very big point, right? Yes, let me say, do plants also respire? Okay, yes, the plants also respire to get the energy for survive. Okay, it can be proved that in the one of the lesson, that is in 6th standard, that is the living organisms characteristics and the habitat. Okay, have you understood? So these plants also, they are going to be take in air and they are oxygen and they are give out carbon dioxide. So in the cells, the oxygen is used to break down the food into carbon dioxide and the water in some of the organisms. But in the plants, each part, it can independently take in oxygen and give out of carbon dioxide. So this can be happen only in the plants. Okay. So, my dear children, you have learned in the first chapter of the 7th standard. What is that? Yes, in the plant body, the leaves are the major part. Even though we can call those leaves as a food factory of the plant body. Why? Because they are going to be involved in the process of the photosynthesis. Okay. So, in these leaves, we are going to be identified a small teeny, teeny pores called stomata. Okay. So, through this stomata only, the exchange of gases can be takes place. Okay. Yes. My dear children, just a aside. Okay. So, in all the living cells of the plant body, they are going to be take in air independently and give out a carbon dioxide. This is the point. Okay. So, in all the living cells of the plant, the root cells, they are going to be take oxygen and generate energy. How it can be happen? Yes. For that purpose, my dear children, please you look at the picture. Okay, so in this plant, the roots, okay, they have take up a air They have take up air through the air spaces which are present in between the soil particles. For what purpose they are going to be take oxygen? Okay, because to get a energy and to generate a energy. Okay, so my dear children, just I am asking one question. Can you guess what would happen? Okay, what would happen if the potted plant is overwatered? Just to think in your mind. Again and again you have to pour the water for the plant, the potted plant. What happened? What happens? Okay, so my dear children, let me conclude the chapter. How it is? Yes, means what I am going to say. My dear children, you have learnt in this lesson about the respiration. Means the respiration is a vital biological process. Okay, once again I am going to repeat. A respiration is vital biological process. So from this point we understood that all the living organisms, they are going to be respired to get the energy to survive. Okay, so for this point you have just to look at the whole chapter, this lesson. You understood well for this point. Okay, a human also need energy to survive. In the same way, the plant body also need energy to survive. Got it? So that what I am going to say, my dear children, all the living organisms, they are going to be survived only because of the respiration. So, my dear children, I hope you understood the whole lesson. So, what we learned in this lesson? In this lesson, we learned the breathing definition and the breathing rate. Okay, and we discussed about the muscle cramps. Okay, and we discussed about the mechanism of breathing by conducting some of the activities. And what do we breathe out? That is also we proved by conducting some of the experiments. Okay, and in today's session we learned about how the other organisms, they are going to be respiring or are they going to be breathing. Okay, so my dear children, I hope it's clear for you. If you have a doubts, okay, you have to ask in a 7th science group. I am going to clarify your doubts. So let me start this session in this point. Okay, yes, my dear children, my humble request with you, please you have to drink plenty of water in a day. Okay, thank you.